And without further ado, I shall ask Christeen Lewinson to come up and say her piece. Christeen.
Hello. Sorry, I've just got to say, well, hello, Clarice. Silence of the Lambs. Come on. We've just eaten. Right. My name is Christeen Wilson, and I'm a managing director of a property company called Olive Properties Consultants Limited. And I'm based in East Anglia, and I'm a mother of 2 grown-up children, daughters, one of which is sitting over there, Charlie, and the other is married and has made me a very proud grandmother of 1. So, I was born in Birmingham, West Midlands, and raised from an early age in Bradford, West Yorkshire. And yes, I did spend a short time in Stoke-on-Trent, and that's because my father went with the calling. He was a man of the cloth, and, you know, that's how it went. So I spent a short time there, but eventually ended up here in Bradford. And I'm one of 6 siblings, 2 brothers and 3 sisters, one of which is over there, and 2 over there, and they look fabulous. Janet, Rose, Pearl, all the power to you. And my father always used to say to all of us, oh, you know, always be your own boss. And he always used to say, never rent property either, you know, always make sure you own something, even if it's something small. And he was a builder and a plumber, and he was, you know, quite successful for his day, and he bought property also. And I always remember that he used to sell them. And for years afterwards, we'd be there driving along, and he'd see one and say, oh, I used to own that, and, you know, it's your mother, she made me sell it, or something like that. And I used to think, well, you know, really, you're supposed to be the businessman here, you know, and you know, really, even in my young mind, I thought perhaps you should have held on to them. I didn't quite know why at the time, but I decided that I would want to aspire to be a businesswoman and do it better, bigger. I thought I need to build on these building blocks, and I think that, you know, where you have that, and certainly the building blocks were there, and I needed to build on those. I moved to Peterborough in 1995, and I trained as a social worker. I had gained other formal qualifications at that time, and in social sciences encompassing psychology of people, social science, and economics and statistics. So, you know, they were the basic rudimentaries of what happens in the world today. I qualified and then thought to myself, after perhaps a while of being a social worker, I thought, well, don't want to do this anymore. You know, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. I grew weary and tired of seeing the same faces, same people, and people saying, when April comes, you know, I'm going to get my superannuation, and I'm going to, you know, get an increment, and I'm going to earn £1.50 more in my wage packet. And I thought, what? You know, wake up. There's a world out there. You know, leave the office, do something, you know. And I thought, I think there's more to I couldn't get on with my manager. I couldn't get on with this man. I tried everything. Playing dead, wearing the same clothes every day, green Wellingtons, a duffel coat. Didn't work, didn't blend in. Christine, I need to see you in the office again. And okay, fine. I thought, you know, this is not working out. And at first I thought, well, okay, I'm doing something wrong. It's all about me. And I thought, well, I should change something. And I tried to fit in. And I thought, you know, I don't feel like fitting in. Why should you? And I decided that I was going to leave. I thought, I can't sit here waiting for change to find me. I need to be a catalyst of change. I like that. Sounds good. So, don't you think it sounds good? It sounds good. So I thought, no, Brock studied social work. No, I'm going. So I said, I'm leaving. I didn't know where I was going, but I was going. Leaving. I decided to reinvent myself, a bit like Kylie in the, micro short hot pants. Guys, come on. I haven't got any of those, but hey. So I moved on, and I decided to set myself up as a social work management consultant. Can you believe that? That's who I was, and people believed me. One day, bog standard social worker. Next day, I am a social work management consultant. That's who I am. Do you know me? Have you heard of me? And I took off, went to Biggleswade just off the A1 there. Nobody's seen any black people before. This was good. I am the only person here that's black because you people are special. You need me here. Okay, can you tell us how to do this? Guys, listen. Directors, managers, whoever you are, if anybody, and I repeat, anybody says to you, can you tell me about this? Do you know about this? Never, ever say, I don't know. Kiss of death. Say, because I want to be clear about what I'm saying to you, I am going to find out. And then I will let you know. As I said, and it works, but please make sure you go back and tell them. Read about it and tell them. So I went from £19,000 a year, which, I had to make it stretch, and onto £47,000 a year in one step. One step. You can step out and be somebody. 19,000, 47,000. That was in 2002, early part of 2002. Within 6 months, I was on £58,000 a year because they believed in me. I made them depend upon me. When everybody else had gone home, I was still there. And it worked. They needed me. And within another 6 months, it was £64,000 a year. And by the time I'd left, it was £78,000 a year. And by the time I'd turned around a couple of times and realized where I was, I owned 25 properties, the first of which I'd purchased in 2001. I was juggling my home life, teenage girls, and consulting with numerous social services departments, bumping in, dealing with their red tape and bumping into their brick walls, bouncing off their glass ceilings, and trying to develop an ever-burgeoning management company, property company. And it was taking its toll. And I thought, I realized I was stifling, and I wanted to and could be more. And I realized I was hemming in my business potential. How does one do all of that? I was managing a busy child protection team. I was advising social services departments and trying to get them to think about themselves as businesses as opposed to just poor social work departments. I wanted, local authorities to look at themselves and do something with the public purse. I think they should be accountable for what they do with taxpayers' money. That's what I think. I decided I like analogies. I like looking at analogies and thinking, okay, think about two mirrors and put them opposite each other. What do they do? Do you ever see the end of the reflection of any of them? You can't. It's infinite. And I imagined that I wanted to be in there somewhere. Infinite. no end to it. So I wanted exponential growth for my business and for my life, wherever it took me. And I used my capacity in terms of my psychological background to understand the minds of people. I borrowed from psychological schools of thought and to work out what I should buy next and where I should buy it and the kinds of people that would want to rent from me. And I used that to manipulate estate agents and brokers, vendors and tenants and everything. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's about getting the best for yourself and your business. And I used statistical data to work out where Peterborough, for instance, would be in a while from now. And I envisaged that it would become a published property hotspot by the year 2006, and that's exactly what happened. And by then, I owned a lot of properties there, all in the city centre. And they were established homes that families would want to live in. It wasn't about jumping onto the next new build bandwagon or something like that, because that's not necessarily the real thing to do. People don't always want to be there. And I think we've got to understand the rudimentaries of economics, for instance. And I think knowledge it really is power. And for instance, there's a law of diminishing returns. You know, too much of a thing means that not everybody's going to want it. It's going to be worth less. And there's a supply and demand thing. If there's too much of a supply, there's the same thing. And that's how it works. Conversely, you know, if supply is low, it's going to push the price up. It's the same with anything, jewellery, anything at all. And a